simple words, and they stir emotions and feelings across the entire state of Alabama, which can be felt and in many cases starts blood to boiling because rivalries like this define this great sport. Welcome, everyone, to the home of the Auburn Tigers, Jordan-Hare Stadium, as we'll see a squad from the SEC, the Alabama Crimson Tide, taking on another SEC rival, the Auburn Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by a couple of legends, and yes, we do use that term loosely. David Pollack from the University of Georgia and former Gator Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's get down to the field. Auburn will kick it off to get things started. On the run from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. The Crimson Tide offense takes the field to start things off. Last year's Iron Bowl is pretty much what we've come to expect when it's in Tuscaloosa, as scripted as it was a year ago. The drama you tend to find when they play in Jordan-Hare, but there's no mistaking the intensity no matter where these two get together.
Yeah, and Auburn didn't play their best, but this rivalry always provides fun. Like, there's some way, somehow, it shouldn't happen. Where it's played has always mattered. It seems like it will swing the pendulum a little bit, but a lot of hate in the Iron Bowl. The state of Alabama, you're either on one side or the other, and it's usually not friendly. This will be a fun game to watch.
I feel like this is the rivalry game that consistently provides the most drama at the end of every season. That's why it's so much fun to watch. Last year when these guys played, Peyton Thorne threw for over 300 yards, but it wasn't close to enough. They need more balance. They can't turn the football over if they're going to get this win over their hated in-state rival.
Open the drive with a chunk play out past the 40, and they are in business on first down. They'll go to the ground. Turning it on. Running through contact. They finally wrestle down the senior, but not before he picks up some valuable ground. Coming out on first down with the play fake. Always a welcome play for the defense as they get a sack at the 47.
And that's not a good sign for this offense. You gave up 4 sacks a week ago. Now you're already getting your quarterback hit. They've got to protect their dude. They've got to give him more time so he can make plays down the field. Protection is the biggest issue for this offense.
Wants to throw. It's Simpson. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. Third down coming. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a fourth down. The Crimson Tide will bring the punt team on the field. He ought to be able to use this first punt to pin him deep.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Wants to go up top on first down. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Miller with the ball. Quick spin on the run. And he does a really nice job finding open space and making a good gain before the stop is made. They're going to go to the air on third and short. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. Fourth down coming up. This offense has moved into plus territory, and they want to keep the heat on. They'll go for it on fourth down. Down he goes, and the defense snuffs out this drive with a sack. So Auburn's offense will try to get something going with their first possession. And what a performance, an aerial show for this guy in the last game, and he has to have a ton of confidence coming into this one, David.
Yeah, it was a great week. And watching that tape before this game, like you could tell, man, he was seeing it quick, the ball.
And the defense, they've got him at the 27. When you play at a place like Alabama, you have to live up to the legacy of the Jonathan Allens, the Deron Paynes, the Marcel Dariuses when you play on that defensive front.
And the funny thing is, Reese, I can keep going. Quinnen Williams, Will Anderson, like the list goes on and on and on. Just elite-level recruiting on the defensive line, on the edge, is how they built this dynasty at Alabama.
And it'll be incomplete. This defense is physical in pass D. Ball's at the 27. This offense facing a 3rd and long. He's looking downfield to throw. Got a man. It's Cobb. And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first. Auburn's going to have to send out the punt team. They'll have to boot it away for the first time tonight. Wants to return it. They make the stop, and that is exactly what you want out of your punt cover unit. Guys, here comes that Alabama offense onto the field. Boy, that last drive, they had a chance to put 3 on the board and passed. This one needs to be productive, David.
I got no problem with aggressiveness. It was a pretty decent drive. This offense isn't fully clicking yet. They need to get in a little better rhythm, and they need to capitalize on those scoring opportunities.
And they've got the weapons to do that too, David. They've got guys that can make plays in space. They need to focus on them and get them the ball this round.
Oh, this crowd wants it. They want to roll Toomer's corner, but right now they want to stop on 3rd down. Catch in the middle, it's Cuevas. Love to see these 3rd down conversions on offense, and they're out to their own 39-yard line. The give to the tailback. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it. Lost 1 on that last one, it's 2nd and 11. To the air, it's Simpson. Not able to hook up the air, incomplete. The Crimson Tide looking for a big play to convert on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. He lost it high and deep down the left side. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. Alabama will bring the punt team on the field. They'll boot it away for the first time tonight. Excellent coverage that time. Didn't give him any room to set up a big return. So here comes the Auburn offense. They went 3 and out on their first possession. Now to see if they can be more productive this time around. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. They'll go to work in the air on 2nd down. And it's incomplete, but there's a flag in the backfield. Let's see who the call's on. That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. Offense gets set for 2nd down. Looking to fire. That's caught. It's Simmons. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. Caught behind the line. It's Simmons. He did not make it a stone wall on 3rd down. They kick it away on 4th down. He was hoping for a little more running room, but they're able to get him down at the 45. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. A quick pass to the left. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Trying to get the edge with a quick touch pass. And they'll bring him to the ground after a short gain. Alabama with a lot of ground to cover here on 3rd and long. Quarterback running on the draw. He's going to come up a couple of yards short of the 1st down. The punt team makes its way onto the field. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. And that one will bounce and roll out of bounds. Let's see exactly where they mark it. And the offense back on the field, ready to dial up ball plays. Got it behind the line. It's Coleman. Got the completion, but nowhere to go as that defense reacted quickly. Makes the catch. It's Coleman. Found a little bit of room to operate, but he'll be stopped just short of the first down. They're going to try to throw for it on third down. And the incomplete pass on third down, but there is a flag on the field. We'll see what that's about. They'll decline that penalty, obviously very happy with the results of the play. Auburn sends out the punting unit. He'll try to really get into this one. No return coming here as he signals for the fair catch and makes it right around the 30-yard line. They'll try the run. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. A negative play to open the drive. Let's see what they've got on 2nd and 14. They'll run play action. And the pass is broken up incomplete. But wait, there's more. Flag on the field, and it might be against the offense. Holding penalties, the ultimate drive killer. We'll see if it costs this offense here. To throw, it's Simpson. Using the quick game. Snowed under by the defense. This Auburn crowd trying to conjure up a little magic here on third down. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. Got a man. It's Miller. They make the stop just across the 30 at the 31. It's fourth down. Looks as if the Tide will punt it away. Fair catch called for and made around the 20-yard line. Now here comes that Auburn offense onto the field again. We'll see if they can be a little more productive this time around. And the pressure was too much. They get him at the 15.
And this guy just stays on a roll. He's been getting to quarterbacks and making life really, really hard. He had 3 sacks a week ago, 1 already in this ball game. You better know where he is at on every single snap.
The Tigers with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Gonna swing it on 2nd down. Nowhere to go, and the ball is loose. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere. It's a turnover.
And that is exactly how you draw it up. You get to the quarterback, but you get the football out. You hit him, you try to rake it out. Great job by the defense, getting the sack, getting the fumble.
What a golden opportunity for this offense, scooping up the ball, and now they've got it inside the 10. Grabbed behind the line, it's Bernard. Touchdown, Alabama! Nice catch and good work afterwards to get it into the end zone.
This offense is so good. Man, they can hurt you in so many different ways, and they do it so quick, so explosive. They can put small drives together, big drives together. They've really had a great year, and that's why they're a top 10 offense.
Setting up for the extra point after the first score of the game. And with the extra point, they get the first 7 of the game. That's taking advantage of a golden opportunity set up with great field position, and they struck quickly for the touchdown. Out of the end zone. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. His drive will open from the 15. Leaves it with the running back. And a 9-yard gain on first down leaves him with second and short. Running back searching for a hole. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Give to the running back. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. These two rivals first played in 1893, but there was nearly a half-century, guys, when they didn't play each other because they got in a fight over, among other things, gate receipts.
Yeah, listen, I've been lucky enough to broadcast this game before, and I'll never forget being at Bryant-Denny Stadium and just feeling the energy. It was just completely different versus anything I'd ever seen in college football before. David, there's a different meaning to this game for both of these schools in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, and it's just different because I think being in the state, like fans are around each other all year long. Players are around each other all year long. You know, the Iron Bowl is a civil war of hate between each other all year long, and they get to settle it on a big stage every year.
Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. Wide receiver comes in motion. Off the play fake. Caught in the backfield, it's Coleman. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain. 3rd and short from the 49. Is this 4-down territory? Grabbed over the middle, it's Coleman. That'll be enough for the first down as they stop him at the 43-yard line. Looking to throw on first down. Pressure is effective from the defense. They knock him down just behind the midfield stripe at the 48.
Brings up 2nd down.
So Alabama takes the lead into the quarter break. And after that first quarter, let's see if these guys can get back in the game in the second. They flipped into the field, and we're ready to play. Had a chance to talk it over during the break, and they'll start with 2nd down. Wants to go up top. With the catch, it's Thompson. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. It's 3rd down, and they've got to get it to the 33. From the gun, wants to pass. Catch in the middle, it's Thompson. Just what they'd hoped for on 3rd down as they've got a first at the 32. The Tigers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Leaves it with the back. Shows him the stiff arm. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be 2nd and just a few breaths away from the first down. The give on the option. Oh, he's got some space. Stopped at the 13-yard line as the drive continues. Using his legs, it's Robinson. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. A little wrinkle here as they go to the Wildcat and use the extra blocker. Motion from the back. On the direct snap, it's Coleman. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Already 2 for 2 on 3rd down, but this time they'll need 9 to convert. That pass not close as he got drilled trying to deliver it, and it'll bring up 4th down. And they'll send out the field goal unit. Field goal is good. That'll bring him to within 4.
Man, man. So many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
So the kickoff team is out there ready to boot it away after putting up a field goal. Let's see what the defense can do. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here comes that Alabama offense. Last drive went for 6. We'll see if they can do it again. Power football with the run. Defense in the right spot. They stop him after a gain of 2 to the 28. Got 3 on first down at 2nd and 7. Running into the open space. Kept it, and he's past the marker. They finally get him on the ground, but he's got an explosive play for the first down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Crimson Tide rolling on the ground, tries to keep momentum going. Able to make the catch, but not in the field of play. It's an incomplete pass.
And there's so much for a quarterback to think about. Stick it out in the belly. Do I pull it? Now when I pull it, I got to get my feet set, make an accurate throw to the right guy. So a lot of things going on, and I think that you saw that led to a little bit of inaccuracy.
They're dealing with a 2nd and long. Motion from the wideout. Quarterback keeper. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go. They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. They'll move the tight end. To the air, it's Simpson. Unloads to the wideout. Pulls it in, it's Bernard. And he's dragged down. Oh, this crowd wants it. They want to roll Toomer's corner, but right now they want to stop on 3rd down. Gives it on the option. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. The Crimson Tide will bring the punt team on the field. 4th time tonight we've seen this guy come on to punt. Punt goes out of bounds, and a really nice job as they stick them deep in their own end. They'll mark it around the 10. Here's the handoff. There he goes. And what a huge chunk play for this offense. Just exactly what you need to move the ball down the field.
Well, the defense just had to chase that guy down, make a tackle after a long run, and no chance to substitute. They got to get the play call in because the offense is trying to go fast.
Short hands, it's Alston. They stop him just short of the first down, but it will be 2nd and inches coming up. They'll leave it with him. They'll wrestle him down just short of the first down. I don't even think they're going to bring out the chains to measure this one. Tries to slither forward on the sneak.
And, David, on 3rd and inches right there, that's often a decision the quarterback predetermines. Who's my best guard? That's the guy I'm going to try to get behind.
And I know that defensively, too, but I'm just trying to dive and create a pile, but it's so hard to stop that play. That's why you see it ran so successful.
Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. To the ground with the back. And there was nowhere to go. Just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. A little less room to work with now as the ball's at the 28 and it's 3rd and long. He's looking to throw. Grabbed behind the line. It's Simmons. He's going to come up about 5 yards short of the line to gain. And here comes the field goal unit for the 2nd time tonight. It is perfect. That brings them to within 1.
And that's not the way they wanted to end the drive, but nice job being ready and your field goal kicker coming through and putting 3 points on the board.
After putting 3 on the board, the kickoff unit ready to go. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Guys, here comes that Alabama offense onto the field. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Finds a man on the left. And he's brought down at the 40-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Alabama may always be built on the run, but these days they elevate with a high-flying pass game.
And great coaches evolve, and we've seen the evolution of this Alabama offense over the last several years, and it's not just run, it's not just eat clock, it is be aggressive, attack, make big plays down the field.
Alabama with a multitude of options on second and short, finding open areas. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Third and short now. They snap it from their own 46. Back to throw. It's Simpson. Quickly to the tight end. That'll be enough for the first down, and they'll mark it at the 48. Passing game kept this drive moving. Let's see if they try it again. Keeps it on the draw. Came through like a shot and knocked him down for a loss of 5. The Crimson Tide just hoping at least to get some of the yardage back here on second down. Now the play fake. Can't find the man, and he'll be knocked down at the 40.
But for this defense, finally, you're seeing pressure on the quarterback. They're outside the top 50 in sacks per game. They've been waiting to find some more consistent pressure to help them win games, and they're getting it in this game now. 3 sacks on the day. They're just simply winning and doing a better job executing up front at the point of attack.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, no secret what he needs here. And the pressure is coming in, and they get him again.
On third and long, you know what's coming. It's exactly where you want to get an offense. The passing game has to come out. You go nickel, bring some more speed on the field, and the defensive line gets home and gets the sack to force the fourth down.
Alabama will bring the punt team on the field. That leg is staying loose already, the 5th kick of the night. He'll get away another punt. He's been really active today, and no doubt he's going to earn his varsity ladder. They'll get down and put a stop to the return at about the 28-yard line. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. Off play action on first down. He lets it fly. Makes the grab on the big throw. Off and running. And he'll take it to the house. He got loose. Touchdown, Auburn.
And so many times the safeties tell the tape, and that's what QBs are studying and reading, and he drops back, and you can tell he sees his receiver coming from the right side, and he knows exactly where he's going to end up with that post, pushes the ball down the field for the big play, got the safety out of position, made the big touchdown throw.
PAT unit on the field. And the extra point is good, and the lead is 6. That drive not too taxing on the playbook. One play, put it in the end zone just like that. And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Receiver going in motion. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Finds his man. It's Bernard. He stopped just a chain link or 2 away from the first down and sets them up beautifully here. Off play action. Grab near the marker. It's Williams. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they have a first down at the 43. The clock has reached the 2-minute mark, and they have a chance to at least cut into this lead before the break. Now on first down from the 43-yard line. Looking to pass. It's Simpson. Makes the grab on the left. Stopped at the 47-yard line, a 10-yard gain, and they'll move the markers. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Tide with the 1st and 10. Wants to throw on 1st down. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on 1st down. Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. Finds his man, it's Williams. And he's tackled, but there's also a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is. Well, when your quarterback has already been sacked 4 times, shouldn't be some big surprise if the O-line gets called for holding. Gonna look downfield again. Missed his receiver there, it's incomplete. This Auburn crowd trying to conjure up a little magic here on 3rd down. Direct snap. He's gonna lose a yard on that one. Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. Looks as if the Tide will punt it away. Fair catch is signaled for and made. They'll mark it at the 12, and they'll start in a bit of a hole. They'll start this drive going to the air. Caught over the middle. It's Howard. Tackled almost immediately. They're well short of the 1st down. Wants to throw. He's working against the clock. Pulls it in. It's Robinson. And the defense had that one well covered. Just a short gain there. And the Tigers are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. Shotgun snap, wants to throw it on 3rd. Caught, close to the marker, it's Thompson. Stopped at about the 25-yard line, but it'll be a 1st down. That's the end of the 2nd quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Fellows, in a rivalry filled with magical moments, even more here today between the Tigers and Tide. And the standout player on the defensive side of the ball has been that boogeyman back there at safety. They try to run it, he's filling the holes. They try to throw it, he's either picking them off or trying to take dudes' heads off. Good luck making adjustments. With that, let's throw it back to the guys to see how the fight between Alabama and Auburn plays out.
Alabama ready to put a boot to it to start the 2nd half. Bringing it back. And the returner is stopped. And Auburn is ready to go back to work on offense. They go to work in the 3rd quarter with the lead, but they have had a little trouble keeping their quarterback upright.
Yeah, and you have the lead, you're positive, but the offensive line coach is definitely going to be upset. And the offensive coordinator, listen, I don't want my guy getting touched. He's being productive, but give him some more time here in the 2nd half.
I think you can do that, too, offensively, by maybe leaving your tight end in to help block, maybe chipping with running backs to help these tackles out on the edge, because you're right. That pocket has been shaky, and if it continues to be that way in the 2nd half, this could be a much different-looking football game.
On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield. Got it in the middle, it's Howard. And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag on the field. Well, when your quarterback has already been sacked 4 times, shouldn't be some big surprise if the O-line gets called for holding. He lobs one high down the left side. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down. Auburn's going to have to send out the punt team. 3 and out, and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. On his way from around the 50. And the returner goes down. From the shotgun, the handoff to the back. Great penetration by this defense, and they knock him down behind the line. A loss of 1. Looking for a man. It's Simpson. Quickly complete. No chance to run, but still a good gain. Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Grabbed in the middle, it's Miller. He'll come through on 3rd downs. He's got enough, and they'll mark it at the 23. Alabama with a 1st and 10 here. Use the play fake, now to throw. Grabbed in the backfield, it's Miller. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. The noise level is relentless here on 2nd down. Back to pass. Caught in the backfield, it's Miller. He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line. The crowd getting behind this defense as they try to get a stop in the red zone. He didn't even have a chance to get back to the line. What a job by this defensive front. They'll try to put 3 on the board as the field goal unit comes on. This crowd trying to do its part to get inside the kicker's head. Oh, that one will leave a mark. No good. Guys, they could have cut the deficit in half if that field goal had been good. Still down by 6. Lining up in the Wildcat. Let's see what they've got. On the direct snap, it's Coleman. Oh, and he's going backwards. Defense not fooled at all by the Wildcat. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. Looking to fire. Snagged in the middle, it's Robinson. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Got it in the middle, it's Coleman. And he's brought down after a nice gain. They'll snap this one from the 32. It's 1st down. One man in the backfield, and he gets it. They stop him cold. Maybe gets a yard to the 34. After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Wants to go up top. Fires to the tight end. He's close to the 1st down, but they're going to mark him just a little short. The Tigers come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to convert here. Muscling ahead on 3rd and short. To the 43-yard line and a 1st down for this offense. They moved the chains on the ground last time. Let's see if they try to hit him up top. Catch in the middle, it's Thompson. Stopped at the 46-yard line, but give him 10 yards and the 1st down. The give to the back. Breaks into the open. And he finds some solid space. Makes a nice gain before the defense is able to stop him. Looking for a chunk play on 2nd and short. Going to try to pop one on the screen. They drag him down, but not before he's moved the chains and the screen pass is effective. He'll pull it on the read. Good pickup on that play. It'll bring up 2nd and 4. The Tigers with myriad options after that big pickup on 1st down. Grabbed over the middle. It's Howard. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. And the Tigers line up trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. They'll try to get it through the air. And it's incomplete on 3rd down. And this field goal team has been busy. This kicker comes out for the 3rd time tonight. Just drives it between the uprights. That'll make it a 2-score game at 16-7. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. So after the made field goal, they'll kick it away and rely on their defense. He'll take the return, try to get better field position. And the return man reaches the end of the line, and down he goes. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. Back to throw, it's Simpson. Catch in the middle, it's Miller. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The Crimson Tide can dig into that playbook here on 2nd and short. Caught over the middle, it's Williams. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few. Oh, this crowd wants it. They want to roll Toomer's corner, but right now they want to stop on 3rd down.
Well, this guy's a weapon, throwing it and running it, and you know he's going to try to hurt this defense with his legs.
It puts so much stress on the defensive line to chase him, and the fact that the play is extended, so turning it on. Really nice pickup there as they have it out to the 44 with the 1st down. So they move the sticks on the run. Let's see what they do with this one. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run. Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Back to pass. Under fire. That's caught. It's Horton. At the 40, there he goes. And this defense's head is spinning. He gets it down to the 27. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Crimson Tide comes to the line with the 1st and 10. They'll give it to the back. Got the 1st down and more. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. The Crimson Tide rolled to that last 1st down on the ground. Let's see if they go right back to the run. Lets it fly. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. Made the grab in the end zone for the score.
And it's so underrated. The relationship between a QB and a wide receiver, the timing, the ability to know where he's going to be and be accurate with the football, that's what leads to nice touchdowns, Jesse.
Well, and the chemistry between these two guys has to be great when you're throwing into the end zone because coverage is going to be tight. The throw might not be perfect, but this is something these two guys have been repping in practice over and over and over, and it's paying dividends now on game day.
And it's up and good as they draw just a touch closer. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So here comes the Auburn offense. They still have the lead, but they need to respond to that last score. With the catch, it's Coleman. Oh, he's got some space. Finally corralled, but not before. He picks up the 1st down. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. They'll put it in play from the 41 on 1st down. Leaves it with the back. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The Tigers now with a long way to go to pick up the 1st down. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. Makes the catch. It's Alston. And they pick up just a few on that completion. They've got a good chunk of ground to cover on 3rd and long from the 41. From the gun, wants to pass. Throws to the tight end. Can't make the connection on 3rd down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's 4th down. Yet another punt on the way. Got to make sure that hamstring stays loose. He's been busy. Here comes that Alabama offense. They cashed in on a short field last time they had it, and now they'll go to work from their own end. To the air, it's Simpson. The roar of the crowd trying to fuel Quick pass on the jet motion. The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage. This crowd with a bolt of energy on 3rd and long. They go to the ground. He won't get there. It'll bring up 4th down. The Crimson Tide will bring the punt team on the field. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. He'll field the punt and try to get some yardage. Returns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards to help out the O. They'll crank up this drive with the pass. That's caught. It's Thompson. He's finally stopped, but not before he takes it into the red zone. They'll mark it at the 18. To the air on 1st down. Got his man. And he'll be tackled, but there is a flag on the field. Well, when your quarterback has already been sacked 4 times, shouldn't be some big surprise if the O-line gets called for holding. Handoff from the gun. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. The Tigers have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. From the gun, they'll try the middle. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Motion from the wide receiver. On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. Just gets rid of it before the heat. And they can't make the play on 3rd down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. This field goal unit getting some serious run. They've already been out there 3 times. The kicker will try it again. Never a doubt for this big-footed guy. 49-yard field goal is good. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So they start this drive from inside their own 20 at the 19-yard line. Back to throw, it's Simpson. Fires to the big fella. Defense makes the tackle, and that will probably be the final play of the 3rd quarter. And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. Here comes the 4th. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. It'll be 2nd down as we open the final stanza. They'll move the wide receiver. From the gun, he leaves it with the back. Into a mass of giant bodies, we'll call it a 1-yard gain to the 24. This Auburn crowd trying to conjure up a little magic here on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Got it in the middle, it's Bernard. They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks.
When you're a playmaker like this guy is, your coaches are going to dial up plays intended for you, especially on 3rd down. That's what you saw in that last play. There was no question where the quarterback was going with that football. All week long, they decided on the biggest downs of this game, we're going to target our best player, and we're going to make sure that he gets looks. It doesn't matter what the coverage is. You saw it right there on that.
Alabama with a multitude of options on 2nd and short. Trying to get the edge on the jet sweep. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. These fans stepping up to help this defense on 3rd down. To the ground to try to pick up the 1st. They'll move the chains. Good execution on 3rd down. They've got it at the 41. This Alabama offense is clicking. They're set up with another 1st down. Got room to work. And they picked up 9 on 1st down. It'll bring up 2nd and short. from the gun, running back on the move. The Tide will get the first down.
Well, obviously the offense went 3 and out on their last drive. They're having a little bit more success here. That was a nice run, and I think that's the key, guys. If they're able to run the football, they're going to be able to stay on the field. And I think that's something you want to think more about if you're the play caller on offense.
Draw play, quarterback keeps it. Not a lot going on there. Picked up a couple. Oh, they dial up on second and a long way to go. The play action fake. Fires to the wideout. A strike downfield. Works his way to the 4-yard line, and they'll have it first and goal. So the opportunity with a touchdown here to take a fourth-quarter lead. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. He'll run it to the middle, looking for the end zone. He's going for the goal line. Touchdown Tide! And they've moved out front here in the fourth.
And this offense really showing their physicality, running the football when it matters, in the fourth quarter, in crunch time, to take the lead in this football game.
They're going to go for 2 here and try to extend that lead to a field goal. Stopped short. They can't get the 2-point conversion, and they're still up by 1 here in the fourth. On the move from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Now here comes that Auburn offense onto the field again. Jesse, they had to kick a field goal the last time they had it.
Yeah, and oftentimes early in games, you're just trying to find your rhythm. Some things work, some don't on that first drive, David. It'd be interesting to see what happens here in the second drive.
Yeah, you got a feel for the defense now. You understand what they're trying to do, what their game plan is. Now you get to go into phase 2 of your game plan.
And it's pretty obvious there was a big hole in that screen, and the defense ran right through it. On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. And the quarterback caught up 2 and sacked at the 12. Oh, man, they've already lost 1 quarterback today. Now the backup comes in and has to take a shot.
Man, I might think about protecting my QB a little better. I already lost 1. Now your second guy gets hit, and you got to keep this guy healthy. You got to keep him upright. You got to protect your quarterback, man.
Auburn sends out the punting unit. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. A fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. Guys, here comes that Alabama offense onto the field. And what a drive that was the last time they had it. Basically the length of the field. Much better starting point this time. And he is swarmed under a host of defenders there to make the stop. Scanning the field, it's Simpson. Makes the grab, it's Horton. Found enough room to get it into enemy territory. They're down at the 43-yard line. The offense lining up for a first down play. The inside handoff. He stopped at the 32, picks up 10 on the play and gets the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. The give on the inside. Got the first down. Looking for more. What a good job to be able to pick up that kind of yardage when you're trying to finish off the game. Here's a quick throw out to the left. They'll spot the ball at the 12 after that completion. Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. Going to the ground. They get him stopped, but those feet kept moving until he was down to the 5. So this offense with an opportunity to put this game in a hammerlock if they can score and bleed the clock. He works his way ever closer all the way down to the 1-yard line. He'll keep it himself. And this one will be stopped for no gain. 3rd and goal, and let's see if they can even operate in this noise. He'll sneak it. Scores on the sneak.
And I tell you what, Reese, I'm not picking a team unless I got a guy that can do something like this at the quarterback spot. I need an athlete. I need a little bit of mobility. It just dictates too much to the defense. QB runs in for 6.
He'll try to tack on one more. And he splits the uprights and pushes the lead to 8 here in the 4th. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. And Auburn is ready to go back to work on offense. They didn't get much done the last time they had it, and to punt it away from deep in their own territory, hoping this drive will be more productive. And the Tigers trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Looking downfield, it's Daniels. If the quarterback's a little more on target there, maybe they hook up, but it's an incompletion. It'll be 3rd and long. They'll send the back in motion. On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down. Auburn's going to have to send out the punt team. Not going to risk a return here. Calls for the fair catch and makes it just around the 30-yard line. And let's see what kind of ball plays this offense has ready. They want that clock to run. A most efficient pickup of 6 on 1st down. It's 2nd and 4. On the run, it's Young. Nice move there. And he's able to shed 1 tackle, but still, just a very short gain. Big 3rd down as the crowd gets behind this defense. Try and play action. Grabbed in the middle, it's Bernard. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. Alabama comes to the line with 1st and 10. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Caught in the backfield, it's Hale. How about this sophomore stopping him short of the 1st down line? Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. Quarterback on the keeper. A timely pickup to get the 1st down there, and it took a little something out of the crowd, too. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Alabama rolling quickly downfield, set up with another 1st down. The give to the back. Creates a little room. Picks up the 1st down, still moving. And he got away from the defense and takes it in. Touchdown, Bama!
And that is a drive and a score they absolutely had to have. Now making it a 2-possession game late in this one. It wasn't going to be enough to just play it safe, play it conservative, punt the ball away, and count on your defense. They were aggressive. They mixed it up, but getting that score, that is huge for their win probability now.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, they move on top by 15. A 69-yard touchdown drive, and he finished things off by racing 37 yards to the end zone. On the run from inside his own 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. So here comes the Auburn offense. They really didn't move the ball at all the last time they had it, and hoping for better fortune this time around. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the 1st down. Auburn lines up quickly.
It's always interesting how people handle late game. Like, you know this game is over. There's not a lot to gain from it, but some people try to throw the ball deep and continue to make plays. They throw it short. The clock's running out, and there's not a lot to talk about that's going to be positive for this offense.
And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit. The Tigers come to the line on third down, trying to keep this drive alive. Back to pass, it's Daniels. Here's a throw downfield late. He's got it on the left. And they don't drag him down until he gets all the way to the 46-yard line. Looking to throw on first down. Snagged in the middle, it's Howard. Hauled down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down. They'll hurry to the line with the clock still running. Looking downfield on first down. That's reeled in, it's Thompson. He's run out of bounds, and they'll say he stepped out at the 27. Looking to throw again. Throws to the wideout. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. Nice pickup on the return, but more important, they got the takeaway, and now they're in business.
And I love this defense understanding situational football. You got the lead in the fourth quarter, getting your nickel packages. You know the pass is coming, and the execution was great.
Yeah, they thrive on takeaways, and they love to get into games late with the lead because one of the strengths of their entire team is their secondary, and you saw it there. In nickel, they're able to come away with the pick, and it's looking like they're going to be able to seal this game.
With the game in hand, the offense choosing to just have the quarterback take a knee. The latest edition of this in-state passion play is bathed in crimson as Alabama rolls to victory over Auburn in the Iron Bowl. That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.